This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Calls for an investigation as Clackamas County continues to deal with ballot issues and a delayed vote count. Plus, we're talking about endorsements this morning pouring in for gubernatorial primary winners. The latest on Oregon's primary election just a few minutes away.
Also, a DC Comics fan turned into a real-life superhero after crooks stole his bat suit.
I've always been a Batman fan. There's a lot of good karma in that.
How he got his bat suit back and a lot of other stuff stolen from his neighbors. He really did save the day. We have that story coming up.
I can't tell you how upset I'm going to be if we go out and I don't catch a fish.
Well, it's fishing. Like I always tell people, it's like going to a casino.
Well, I usually don't have a good experience when I go to the casino. Not when it comes to trying to win money, that's for sure. But Rod found some secrets when it comes to catching sturgeon on the Willamette. This is a new edition of Rod on the Job, and we have that coming up, Rod, in a few minutes.
4 minutes. I was the first one to throw a line in. 4 minutes. Boom! I had a 4-foot sturgeon on the hook.
Nicely done. We'll look forward to that.
Had you ever caught a sturgeon before in your life?
No.
So we're going to see the first right here this morning on Sunrise.
First one, yeah.
Very cool.
That's not the only thing coming up. Got to talk about this as well. We're live at the Hillsboro Airport, where the Oregon International Air Show kicks off later today. Devin Haskins is out there right now. Devin, what can folks expect today?
Well, hey, while we're talking about catching stuff and superheroes, let's talk about the Oregon International Air Show. It's back this year at Hillsboro's Airport. It was back since 2018, and coming up, we're going to have a live look out on the tarmac. Right now, we're inside one of the hangars right now, as it is a little dark outside, so a little look inside here is some of the planes that you'll be able to come out and see. It is an all-female show, meaning all the pilots, the air bosses, the announcers, everybody in this show that's involved with this show is a woman. She flies. That's the theme of this year's Oregon International Air Show, for the first time back here at Hillsboro Airport since 2018. There's also a later show coming up this summer in McMinnville, so we'll have more on all the good stuff coming. It starts tonight, 6 o'clock, fireworks, but plenty of flights also that you'll see if you come out tonight, Saturday and Sunday. We'll have more throughout the hours here on Sunrise.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Devin. Now to the... Oh, go ahead, Rod. Sorry.
Yeah, real quick, let's get you caught up on the weather. We have a dry but cool start out there this morning. We're mid-30s in Forest Grove, Hillsboro, and Beaverton, so the west side is the cool one. Gresham, in fact, quite a bit warmer on the east side, 45, and there's Salem, good morning, you, 43. So a cool start, but the bigger story is completely dry weather today with warming temps. We'll be about 42 on average out the door for the kids, mid-50s at noon, and there's that nice 65 degrees when the kids get out of school this afternoon. Britta?
Thank you, Rod. Now to the ballot counting delays that Clackamas County is having. A state representative from the county is calling for a legislative inquiry.
Yeah, Janelle Bynum, here's her quote, says the county clerk has failed to adapt and accept enough help to fix this crisis. This comes after hundreds of county employees have been reassigned to help elections workers sort through these ballots by hand.
So this problem started because the ballots had blurry barcodes, so counting machines couldn't read them. Staffers now have to verify voters' information against the voter registration database. Then a bipartisan team will transfer that information to a new ballot and then double check it for accuracy.
For added security, cameras have also been placed inside the room where ballots are being counted, along with a view from the outside so the community can actually come by and watch this process. A spokesperson says it's a tedious process and there are only about 80 people who can actually do this work at one single time.
It's not as simple as names on a spreadsheet. It's a process that takes a bit of time, and so we're still filling the schedule. We understand the frustration. We understand people want results and they want things done right.
So Clackamas County isn't putting out a timeline at this point for when this whole ballot issue might be wrapped up, but this much we know for sure. Oregon law states that all votes, all ballots have to be processed, and this election has to be certified no later than June 13th.
We also want to talk about the ballot count here in Multnomah County. Here's where things stand. As of yesterday, officials had 25,000 ballots to count, but said more could still come in. This is the first election where ballots postmarked on Election Day don't have to be counted on Election Day. Ballots arriving after May 17th are valid for up to a week as long as they have that postmark. So far, voter turnout in Multnomah County sits at 36%. The other thing we have our eye on this morning is a Portland City Council seat that's undecided. Joanne Hardesty is leading that race, but it's going to come down to a runoff in November between her and either Renee Gonzalez or Vadim Mozersky. Right now, Gonzalez sits in second place, but the counting continues.
All right, let's get to the race for governor now, where candidates are getting some major endorsements following Tuesday's primary. Yesterday, Democratic nominee Tina Kotek toured a new treatment and recovery center in Southeast Portland, and by her side was New York Times columnist Nicholas Kristof. The former candidate, who didn't meet Oregon's residency requirement, is now endorsing Kotek.
It's unacceptable that anyone's living on the street. That's not how we want our state to be, and it's going to take a variety of solutions, but I have a plan that says on the first 10 minutes of my administration, we know what we're going to do. We got to get more people working with individuals.
Kotek told us that she believes Kristof's endorsement will help her win come November, especially when it comes to securing support in rural communities.
Betsy Johnson picked up 2 high-profile endorsements yesterday. Former Democratic Governor Ted Kulongoski and former Republican U.S. Senator Gordon Smith. Johnson is a longtime member of the Oregon State Senate. She served as a Democrat, but she's not affiliated with any political party in her run for governor.
We're putting our partisanship aside in the interest of our state. Just means the world to me. And that's the whole thesis of our campaign. We are trying to bring Oregonians together.
Johnson says if she's elected governor, she'll keep an open mind and look for consensus.
Well, the other name you'll see on the ballot come November for this race for governor is Republican Christine Drazan. She held a news conference yesterday where she was asked if she's worried about Johnson taking endorsements or funding away from her. Here was her response.
I'm confident that Oregonians will recognize this opportunity to lead our state in a new direction, and that now that we are out of the primary and we have a nominee, and I'm standing here before you today accepting that nomination, that I will be competitive in this race financially.
Drazan was one of 19 candidates in the Republican Party running for governor during the primary, and analysts say far more moderate than many of those challengers. She captured the nomination on Tuesday with about 23% of the vote. Please remember, you can get all the election coverage you need right there on our website. The latest election updates, final results, all those poll numbers you've been looking for. Again, you can find that at KGW.com.
Here's some of the other headlines that we're tracking for you on this Friday morning. Gresham police say they're now investigating a shooting in the Rockwood neighborhood as a homicide. The victim, who was severely injured, has died. This shooting happened Wednesday just before 7 o'clock at 190th and Southeast Yamhill. No word yet on a suspect or what led up to the shooting. And Intel is investing $700 million in a new research lab at its Jones Farm campus in Hillsboro. The 200,000 square foot facility is called a mega lab. Its mission? Look for ways to make data centers operate more efficiently by reducing their heating, cooling, and water needs. And those are 2 of your Friday morning headlines.
All right, this next story is about a Cape Crusader who helped track down a truckload of stolen valuables that belonged to him and also to his neighbors. One of those stolen items was his own Batman suit. So we're going to take it back to April 29th for starters. That's when crooks broke into storage units at condominiums near Southeast 20th and Division. At that point, police say a stolen box truck that crashed and hit 2 people, critically injuring one of them, was actually involved in this because the suspects that ran off and ditched that truck, again, are believed to be the same people involved in this crook case. Bruce Lawson, who has a lot in common with Bruce Wayne, saw the news story and something in the back corner of the truck caught his eye.
In that truck, all 8 units that had been hit, all of our stuff was still there. It's just stuff, but it's such an invasion.
Last Saturday around 2 o'clock in the morning, the crooks actually came back, but this time new security cameras caught them in action. Bruce, or Batman if you will, hopes someone recognizes them so more stolen items can make their way back home, just like his own bat suit.
I'm telling you, he's a great guy. Catherine was reporting on him, and he does a lot of charity work, works with kids. He also works in the movie industry, so he's got that bat suit. There's a little bit of a connection there.
I appreciate you saying that, but do we really need to tell people that Batman is a good guy? They know.
Sometimes the night is dark.
Yeah.
It's not always nice.
Precisely.
What do you have for us, Robin?
Today's it, the kickoff of dry weather.
Yes.
Now, if you're going to be up in the mountains tomorrow,
Yes.
Futurecast does show there could be some showers there. Don't be discouraged. But there's no rain chance down here low. We begin with the fact that nobody has any weather right now. It's generally partly cloudy taken as a whole across our 2 states to begin your Friday morning. It is kind of cool outside. We have a mix of clouds over downtown, but we do expect some of you to see the sun when it pops up just after 5:30 this morning. 47 degrees out at the airport. Here are the other numbers. 37 Newport, one of those cooler spots. Eugene's down to 33, and we have 30s in Beaverton, Hillsborough, and Forest Grove this morning here locally as well. There's the Dow's at 49, some freezing temps out East Burns, 29. Bend is at 30 with some frosty conditions over in Central Oregon. So the one rain chance for the weekend is this one. Futurecast showing showers popping at about mid-afternoon tomorrow over the Cascades, and then the sun goes down that quickly, goes away. There's no signs that there would be any rain outside of the Cascade Range. So we'll look for a nice weekend. Here come the numbers for today. These are still cooler than normal for this time of the year, but they're still pretty doggone nice, right? 64 in Salem, 63 in McMinnville. Generally a partly cloudy day after some early cloudiness and light northwest winds, 5 to 15. Similar numbers up through southwest Washington, Battleground in Vancouver, 65, and Longview gets up to about 64 degrees as well. Here's that 7-day, which doesn't really show any changes from yesterday. Dry today, dry into the first part of the week. 70 tomorrow, mid-70s on Sunday and Monday, 73 on Tuesday. Now, there are some forecast models that keep us dry all the way until Friday. Everything shows we get wet and cool down Friday going into Memorial Day weekend. There are some other models that also give us a chance of some showers on Wednesday and Thursday, so just realize that's not certain. But overall, I feel like I'm coming through. I'm doing a nice job. Speaking of jobs, I went on the job to learn how to be a fishing guide, and my rod on the job, catching sturgeon on the Willamette. It is catch and release season. That's what we did. That's coming up. And I did catch a fish, well, bigger than I am. That's coming up.